Good evening and welcome to another edition of Jamie's Take, where I discuss New York City's rental climate. On tonight's edition, I'm going to be going over the most recent data that has been received, and that would be June. It's pretty hard to ignore in New York City. If you live anywhere in the vicinity, the situation in the rental market is abundant and it's on every news source you can get. Right now, you can just see that the average Manhattan rent breaks 5,000. Barring recession, record-breaking New York rents will keep rising. 5,000. New York's rental real estate market has reached a shocking point. I kind of agree. With rents rocketing, affordable apartments become scarce on Staten Island. So this is nonstop. I don't think it's going to go on forever. I have a hard time saying where this is going to end. It can't. This is really an intense climate. People are coming to New York City, and vacancy is very low. So I'm going to go over the most recent data for you. You know, the bottom line is that the median rent in New York City has risen every month for the last consecutive 6 months straight, and I think there's a lot to be said for that being a very potent comment. The affordability for renters is really down, and what I really think is going on with the average being 5,000 and the median 4,250 is that a lot of your lower priced units they've rented. There's not as many of them, and that is definitely shifting the curve to the right as well. So let me share screen with you, and let's go over the Corcoran report and see how the market is doing with rentals. All right, looking at the Corcoran report here. Okay, so we have more activity and steep climbs in rents, regardless of unit type. And again, as I said, 6 months in a row consecutively, we're reaching new highs. It seems fairly impressive. Another 4,875 leases signed. The majority of them in dormant building, slightly. The figure is impressive because of the record high rents achieved, that we're still signing this many leases. That median rent is 4,250, and like I said before, people are reporting the average rent as 4,500, which is, or 5,000, which is between these two. Definitely a new high. What is the average rent by bedroom right now? For a studio, regardless of doorman, elevator, that's 3,200. 1 bedroom, 4,400. 2 bedrooms, 6,000, and 3 bedrooms, 9,000. If you are working on doing the roommate situation, I highly recommend you adjust your expectations and budget accordingly, and particularly by neighborhood. So for active listings, it's a bit less than last month. We were looking at 5494, 5195, so a smidge of a decrease there. Visible vacancy went up a little bit. I think that's pretty small amount still. If we look at the leases signed by neighborhood, we're seeing the most leases signed on the Upper East Side, the Upper West Side, Midtown East and Midtown West, which are still what I consider some of the real bastions of remaining inventory right now. If you look at the number signed in Soho or Tribeca, inventory is incredibly low, and we're not seeing many leases signed there. Same thing I would say for Greenwich Village, considerably less. I mean, the Upper East Side is a large area, considerably too. So by neighborhood, we're looking at a new record for Harlem and Morningside Heights. Usually that category, we're not seeing as much movement in, but that is a new high. I should like to point that out. It's also a new high for the Upper East Side, the Upper West Side, Midtown West, Murray Hill, Kips Bay, and sort of the combination of East Village and Lower East Side. This is pretty damning stuff. If you're hunting right now, you're going to really need your wits about you. I've seen a lot of rejections, and a colleague of mine saw a particular apartment go up from 6,500 up to 8,000 very quickly in a bidding war. Where is there inventory in the city? This is probably what you want to know most right now. Is the Upper West Side has 2.4% vacancy. Midtown East compares pretty well. East Village, not really. I think it's mostly in the Lower East Side. You might find a little bit more of a pocket there for yourself. So that's what I have for you today. Try not to let the news get you down. And I'm going to be coming out with another rent important video about rent regulation in New York City. So stay tuned for that. That should come out shortly. So if you have any questions or comments, or you want to reach out to me directly, I certainly do. And until next time, I hope that you enjoyed this video and reach out if you have questions.